amongst yourselves while I share out the show. Hello, everyone. It's the
Hi, Adam.
pre-show
How you been?
where I awkwardly share out the show late because
There
we
we
were
go.
talking
I'm doing
about
all right. How you doing, David?
how
Good, good,
terrible the world is.
good. I'm doing
Oh,
good.
there's Taylor.
Hey, speak of the
Hold
devil.
Hey,
on, I'm sharing out the damn show, then I'll get in there.
priorities. I got you.
Priorities. Hey T, what's up?
Oh, not much.
Already sharing out the show. We're live.
Hey, Taylor.
Yes.
I stopped at the Barnes and Noble in Hendersonville,
Ooh.
and they had a sign like our staff recommends drinks, and there was a name Taylor on there. So I asked the girl at the counter if that was you, and she's like, "No, that's not him. He
Didn't
hasn't
you
been
used
here."
to work there, T?
He did.
I did
You
used
did?
to work there, yeah.
We did.
Yeah, she's like, he hasn't been back since
We had
COVID.
one very awkward interaction there.
That's true, we did. But yeah, when they closed down for COVID, I just never reapplied to join when they reopened.
I think we
Yeah.
had a wave one time when I stopped in before a movie, but that was about it. It was like busy. I was like, holy shit, the bookstore's like 10 people in here. And I know that doesn't sound like much, but it was a lot. Anyway, segment one, we'll just talk about what we did this week. Man, what a terrible week I had. Saga coming back.
That's exciting.
X-Men news,
Hella
supply
great.
chain. There wasn't much news. Supply chain issues. We'll talk about that because that's interesting. And then what if?
Paper.
Did you
There
finish
is
What If?
there's going to be a spin-off for WandaVision.
Oh.
Agatha Harkness is getting her own show.
Has that been confirmed? That's
It-
been confirmed?
It's been reported by like 1 billion people,
It
so yes,
has.
I'm pretty
It
sure it's
has.
confirmed.
I'm hoping for, and we can just talk about it now. I'm hoping that it is a prequel. I don't want anything.
Well, it's got to
new.
be, right? Because don't they kill her in the?
No.
They don't
WandaVision?
kill her.
She's like trapped.
Wanda leaves
Oh, okay,
her
they-
like
they-
brainwashed in the town.
That's
But
right. That's right. That's right.
Regardless of that, I do agree with Gomer that there's probably more story to tell. Her like kind of weaving her way through the history of the MCU because she's been around for like a few hundred years. So
That's
a lot of cool
actually a
stories
really good
there.
Point. I was thinking just back in her witchy days, with the book and all that. That would be pretty interesting. But
So you almost had a good idea.
almost, we got disgusting food news. We do have a moment of destruction.
Why have it if it's disgusting?
The disgusting ones are the best ones.
They are actually. We can all have our mutual disgust for it.
I just like a balance, Every time you do a disgusting one, try to balance it out with a delicious one.
I try to balance them out. I found a brand new food blog that is full of awesome. It's a great blog.
I'm looking forward to this.
Rise of the Beasts images. We're gonna look at those and talk about those, even though they're all pictures of cars in a Beast movie. And then top 3, where man, I was so torn by the X books this week that I left them off my top 3 completely. They were all 3 great this week.
They were all 3 great, but I decided to only pick one to put on.
Oh,
my
I know
top
which one you
3.
picked. There's only one. If you were going to pick one, there's only one to pick. We will
Well,
talk about it.
I don't know.
Well, there's
They're
an
all
X box
great.
on my
You're right, 'cause
list,
you're a big
so
Hellions
we'll
fan.
see if
That's
it's that
true.
one. I guess
That's true. We will talk about those, and then, yeah, man, it's some good books this week. Some really, really good books this week. But anything else you guys want to add to the list? I think we got it, and especially after we talked about the Agatha all along.
I get that all along.
Don't butcher the song, Gomer.
I'll butcher any song that I sing. So yeah, if you guys got another list, get into the show. Actually, right on time. Believe it or not.
Are you a wizard, Gomer?
I'm a wizard.
Are you a fucking wizard?
Sheer fucking hubris.
It's true. How dare we? How dare we? Greetings, geeks! Welcome back. It is another episode of This Week in Comics, our Geekery's comic book shit talk show.
Shit talk show.
Got some little bugs in here. It's Gomer, Adam, Taylor, aka David. How's it going, gentlemen?
It's going all right, man.
How are
Doing well.
tricks? People used to say that back in the day. How are tricks? Segment 1, we always talk about what we did this week. I had a terrible week. It was horrible. I'm looking for a new place to live, and it is not a great time to be doing that. And then I get on here in the pre-show, and these assholes are like, "Oh my God, where are you going?" I'm like, "Man, shut up."
Cave City, Kentucky.
Shut
he
up.
wants the
Don't. I
gravy
don't.
right out there, right beside Mammoth Cave, so he can sell those souvenirs. Get you that geosite.
I did watch Black Widow. I did get a chance to watch Black Widow finally, because I'm just not a fan of the movies, but solid, middle of the road, solid. You know,
Yeah, I think we said at the time, like, you know, mid-tier MCU.
Florence Pugh is the best part of this movie.
No, she's
yeah.
hilarious.
Okay, so if the main goal of this movie was to set up a passing of the torch, then they absolutely nailed that for sure.
Oh, for sure, man. The skydive scene where, man, I cringed. I mean, I don't know why. At some points, I'm just like, you know, balling my fists, like, oh my gosh, you know. So yeah, it was a good movie. It was worth it. It worked. It's on Disney Plus now. That's why I was able to watch.
Hello there.
Hi.
My cat just joined me.
Yeah,
Oh,
but we
great.
can't see you, so you can't say stuff like that because it makes no goddamn sense to us.
What up? You guys do anything cool this week?
Oh, I did a lot of things cool this week.
I did finally get around to seeing The Old Guard, so
Oh, cool.
there
you
go.
thought you would be like the person with the oldest movie to bring up, but no, I saw one that came out last year, and it was pretty good, if a little tropey, but you know, definitely worth a watch.
Have you read the comic? You've read the
I
comic?
have not, in fact.
Oh, you should read the comic. It's damn good.
Perhaps I should.
Yeah, it's damn good. Let me know after. Remind me after I have it. What else? What did anybody do? Nothing.
I closed on my house Monday.
Fucking bragging camp. Let's do.
But
Sure.
geek wise, I supported a Kickstarter from Beast of the Mesozoic. That was,
man, more dinosaur shit. You're
the
just doing everything to piss me off this week.
It was the Tyrannosaurus Kickstarter, and they have at one level they have a Tyrannosaurus Rex, a 27-inch Tyrannosaurus Rex, painted up as a Dino Riders.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, my bad. I take it back. That is pretty rad.
Has anybody had a chance to see James Bond yet? I was probably going to go see it in a couple weeks.
I don't like the James Bond movies. You know,
I like them. They're fun.
Well,
remember the one where he just plays cards the whole fucking movie?
That's one of the best ones, you
I know.
idiot.
People keep telling me that. It's boring as fuck. It's like ESPN2 at 3 a.m. It's so boring.
You're an
the balls too, isn't it? Like, what the fuck is happening in this movie?
To me, James Bond movies are in two camps. There's like the ones where they actually take themselves kind of seriously, and you know, when they have like good action scenes, that's pretty cool. But
sure.
The old school ones though were just campy, stupid bullshit.
I love the old,
especially the Roger Moore ones. Those are real campy.
I think my favorite one was a Roger Moore one. It was Man with the Golden Gun because Christopher Lee is the bad guy.
It does.
Mine is, I always forget the name, but it's the one we talk about it all the time. It's the one with the fucking ghost ship and the multimedia dude and
Tomorrow Never Dies.
It's a Pierce Brosnan one.
What'd you say,
it's Tomorrow Never Dies.
Oh yeah, Tomorrow Never Dies. But I appreciate the James Bond movies for one reason. They are sort of this, you know, example in a single movie of pop culture in a moment. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they're time capsules of pop culture at the time, of movie making at the time.
That, but otherwise, they're just kind of lame. What was I going to say? All right, they're bragging about how this James Bond has like grown up into the modern age where he's monogamous and there's like a black woman who is the 007, you know, for a time in this movie, you know, it's sort of coming up. And I'm like, man, how is it? I don't get it. I just don't get it. You know, Dave Chappelle, they talking about canceling Dave Chappelle. And now they're bragging that a guy who's known for drinking and womanizing and being misogynistic has grown up now in the modern age.
Well, I mean, if he's not doing those things, then that is a change for the positive.
No, I'm not saying it's not a change for the positive. I'm just saying, like, why? Why? And that's
because he's
person who thinks that these movies
fictional
are
IP that a lot of people really like that makes a lot of money.
I mean, it's a famous character changing to fit with modern times. What the fuck else do you want, stupid Gomer?
No, I don't want that. I just it's weird to me that
the British have to have something.
Change with the modern.
They only have James Bond and Doctor Who
and Harry Potter.
They don't get to claim Harry Potter. Fuck that. We claim Harry Potter. Warner Brothers is an American company, okay? They have most of the control. But I don't know. Whatever. Change
Monty
mine. Oh,
Python.
Amazon's got that franchise now, so it's supposed to be like a big deal where his movies will still be in the theaters, but they're also going to do spin-off series and shit like that, and that might be interesting. Yeah. All right, and Adam didn't do shit this week.
Nah, I never do shit.
Let's do news.
And now here's Goma with the news.
This is some pretty solid news this week, even though it's light. Saga is coming back.
Woohoo!
How many years has it been?
I have the date here. The last issue. Oh, does anyone want to guess?
It's been
month
like 2
and
years.
year.
I'm not gonna guess month and year, but I don't know, 2 years, 2.5 years.
I don't even know what that means.
Pre-COVID, definitely.
In COVID times. Give me a year, guys. Come on. You guys can't do the fucking math on a year.
It was like, I think it was like 2018.
It was 2018, July
So,
2018.
Yeah,
that was when issue 54 dropped, which was the end of an arc. Just to sort of, I know everyone here knows how popular Saga is, but that issue got a second printing. I think there are only 3 issues of Saga that did not get second printings, and I think they were like issue 25 and 50, where they double printed because they were like extra special books, and they promoted them that way. But it's going to come out January 26, 2022, 44 pages rather than the usual 22 pages.
So it's not that far away.
For the same price. Yeah,
I am excited about this news. I mean, I know it's incomplete, but up to this point, it's probably Brian K. Vaughan's best work, honestly.
I prefer Ex Machina, but I get
Ex Machina is fine. But like,
people always like, oh, it's so preachy. I'm like, yeah, no shit. That's why I fucking like it.
Well, I mean, this has so much going for it that Ex Machina couldn't have touched upon.
That's
where
true.
like we have these outrageous settings, and Fiona Staples is always killing it in the art, and she is a better artist than whatever the dude who drew Ex Machina was.
Ex Machina was. I'm missing it.
Look, I like Ex Machina.
Sure,
I like
sure.
Why the Last Man, but neither of those have standout art. They have fine art. They have
You're
serviceable art. It's good, but it's not like, oh my god, what the hell did I just see? The way a lot of pages of Saga are.
Yeah.
Fiona Staples, yeah. I'm super excited for this. It's still going to be a bit of a wait for me though, because I collect Saga and trade.
Sure.
You guys know I trade weight, so yeah. I'm like a year from now, I guess I'll be getting volume 10.
Well, I have the first 10 issions of Saga, and they're worth more than like the rest of my collection combined.
I don't doubt it.
It's so fucking weird. I should just sell those and
you get
honestly, you should. I mean,
I should. I really should.
I mean, hit that down payment on your house, probably. So, legitimately, you probably should do that.
I mean, they're not worth that much. They're good, but they're not worth that much.
Wait a few years, they might be, honestly.
Yeah. So yeah, Saga's coming back. That's good news. Good news. Same creative team, same schedule, hopefully. Next news: Marauders Annual #1 will come out.
Change of a creative team.
Yes, January 12th. This will be the new creative team. Steve Orlando takes over the book from Gary Dogan. Kreese Lee will be doing the art. And yeah, it's going to be new characters, new direction. Who knows?
I like Steve Orlando getting the call up. I like Steve Orlando. At the same time, I'm kind of sad Gary Dugan's leaving this because this has been like the best X book overall.
Pound for pound,
consistently, Marauders has been one of the very best ones. And it almost looks like they're kind of doing a draft of a lot of the defunct X teams here. Like they got
they're swapping the teams
from X Factor, and are they canceling Hellions?
They are canceling Hellions.
No, Hellions is solicited till at least
they're canceling Hellions. I'm
solicited.
pretty positive they were canceling Hellions.
I mean, they might, but I know that it's at least solicited 2 more issues. Because honestly, this week's issue kind of felt like it was an end of a series. In some ways, they had things still going on, but it's still solicited up to at least issue 18. Dave, look on Previews World and see how many issues of Hellions are solicited.
Okay, give me a second. Let me fire it up.
But yeah, I am kind of pissed off that this is going away and changing, because change is always hard, and it was consistently good. But
I mean, Steve Orlando doesn't suck, but
no,
he does have a big role to step into here, because this is the case of somebody taking the torch from somebody who's been doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, he's been doing one job.
Is Marauders going to keep its numbering, or is it going to renumber?
No, it's keeping the numbering.
That's interesting too.
At least I haven't heard anything.
That is weird, because Marvel usually takes any opportunity they can find to renumber.
Well, look at Spider-Man this week. It was definitely a time where they could have renumbered, but they kept going. So maybe that's a new thing. They're just going to keep that up. But yeah, we're going to get Psylocke, Daken, Aurora, Tempo, who I love, Somnus, who is the new, hero who debuted earlier this year in Marvel's Voices Pride #1. They're going to spring Daken from a prison at the hands of a leader who is as cruel as he is charismatic, the primal provocateur known as Brimstone Love, who sounds like a fucking wrestler. It sounds so stupid. A fan favorite villain.
What are you going to do when Brimstone Love shows up from raising some hell?
And he's going to go.
Is that him on the cover there? Because he does kind of look like a demon wrestler, honestly.
Yeah, it looks whack, dude. So we'll see what happens.
Previews has issue 18 of Hellions, and that is for what's coming out 2 months from now. December.
So yeah, we'll have to wait and see if Hellions isn't in the next solicits, which should be out within the next week or so.
But the writer for it is Zeb Wells.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. Anyway, Marauders Annual. This was another note from the Marvel news thing, whatever. Marauders Annual #1 hit stands January 12th, and then it says, stay tuned in the coming weeks for more announcements about other exciting new X-Men launches. So yeah, Hellions might be going away.
The status quo is
changing again.
Well, we know we're going to get a Legionnaires book. So...
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm okay with this.
I forgot all about that shit.
I'm okay with this approach, though. Have like a couple of core X books that are consistently around, and I'm okay with like things like Way of X and like X Corp.
They just need to be better.
Well, they do need to be better, but even the ones I actually, kind of like Way of X, which was, when it wasn't up its own ass, was, solid.
Sure.
I'm okay with those books like cycling through. Do this for a little while, then it's time to move on to the next thing. Not everything has the legs to be an ongoing.
Exactly. I 100% agree. I think this also has to do a little bit with Inferno. Inferno is really going to change some shit, man. So
yeah, Destiny, Mystique, and Moira going to fuck everything up, I guess.
Oh, I'm so excited to read that shit. Next and last bit of news before we talk about What If. It's so fucking boring. Supply chain issues. Supply chain issues are impacting just about everything right now. COVID shutting down and opening up different places, people moving shit. There's also an infrastructure angle there where like the port of Houston and the port of California, somewhere over there.
San Francisco.
Yeah, they're just not equipped to handle the load that these huge ships can carry. And it's just finally bottlenecked on them. There's also employee shortages on those sorts of things. They need trained crane operators, and they don't pay as a lot because you have to be certified to be a crane operator. You're in California. You're not allowed to smoke weed if you're a crane operator. There's a lot of shit involved, But these are 3 headlines from Bleeding Cool. Major printing and distribution problems are hitting the comic industry. That publishers have received calls stating that they cannot print new collections, large format books, or special items. They also have a headline, there's not enough paper in America for comic books right now. All North American mills oversold into Q1 of next year, and there is not enough paper making capacity to support domestic demand. What the hell? Now, even if they're exporting, right, the comics, they're printing in East Asia, where all the manga is from. If they're printing in Canada, where a lot of comics are coming from, increased driver wages and customs congestion are affecting the comic industry. Almost all ports in the U.S. are experiencing congestion. Carriers are having to raise driver pay to retain them. and we're seeing those increased wages reflect in the contract and spot pricing. This bad idea. Everybody, the least known publisher in the world, except for fucking Dave. Bad idea is pushing all of their December solicits. They're pushing them because they cannot afford to print them and make money.
Yeah, they're already pushing back.
That's how
back books.
That's not too surprising because you have to figure the big losers in all this are going to be the small press publishers. Exactly. You know that Marvel and DC are going to snatch up the supplies when they're available. And if there's not as much available, we might not see like Scout Comics or Bad Idea like David likes. Well, like the second tier ones like Dark Horse will probably be okay. But anything below that rung, I feel very worried.
It also just means books are going to get more expensive again. Publishers are going to use any excuse to make the prices go up.
Hold the line at $4.99.
Yeah,
motherfucker, that was supposed to be $2.99 originally.
I have that poster. I know I say it every time we bring that up, but that's a very cool poster.
What year was that when that poster was making the rounds?
2015, dude.
Yeah, I don't think it was that long ago.
2015 is like 6 years ago.
It was right before New 52.
We've had several new status quos for the prices since then,
Shit, DC's got a crisis every 18 months, it seems like, man. But yeah, this is big news. This is going under a lot of radar, and it's not just comics, even though that's what we talk about here. I mean, that's
I can talk.
Go ahead.
I can talk about the industry I work in. There is a difficulty getting drivers to ship out loads. Because other industries are paying drivers more upfront than what we're doing.
Exactly. So
and that
cost is going to be shipped off to somebody else. Someone going to pick up that cost. It's us, usually, people paying. Man. But, yeah, dude. So, there's also talk, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, it was Hostess or whatever, Nabisco. Somebody was on fucking strike. Cheez-It, Lay's, whatever the fuck it was. Frito-Lay. And now Kellogg is on strike. And they're talking about IATSE or whatever in Hollywood, movie people striking. And if that union goes, then other unions follow suit because they have agreements. Yeah, dude, they're talking about maybe 30 to 40,000 people could be on strike like in the next 18 weeks, like in the next 3 or 4 months. But they're talking like contracts are running out in like February, March, and April for a lot of folks. And they're just all going to go on strike at the same time. I'm telling you, man, it's fucking nuts. It's nuts. Anyway, moving on. Let's get into what if. Like, what if capitalism didn't suck? We'll move away from that. And
what if capitalism worked for everyone?
And we'll move into what if episode 9. I'm not sure if this one even had a title. I just
what if Uatu broke his ooth?
Or what if Uatu broke his oath?
That's right. Yeah, here he is. What?
I was a little disappointed with Funko because they actually spoiled something from this episode before I saw it.
Oh, I have it here. Hold on. You know what?
There's a pop of that now.
That was a pretty cool moment at the end. I mean, you knew Killmonger would try something or other.
Yeah,
but
you knew he would.
Like, this was a pretty rad episode, I would say, top to bottom. It was like, basically it was all devoted to one big brouhaha fight scene, but it was handled pretty well.
Which it was 3 episodes in the making.
No, this was not 3 episodes in the making. This was 8 episodes in the making. This entire series, which is why I think this is so
They ultimately
brilliant.
Touched on every single episode. That one at the end with like where Hank Pym was a serial killer, they only touched on that one at the very end, but they did get around to everyone eventually, and that was pretty cool to see.
And they dumped the zombies on Ultron, and then it wasn't just the zombies, and I'm like, oh shit, Wanda! I was so excited.
Yeah.
But it was really a brilliant fucking idea to make this series come off as an anthology series and then just blow the door off at the end and be like, no, we're sneaky.
Well, yeah, like week in, week out, that's what we usually say is like, I like it, but I'm not as invested. But in fact, if you have been following along the whole time, you are rewarded for having done so because like you get like, oh shit, the zombie showed up,
Yeah.
You put
and I even knew. I was like, oh, Wanda's coming. Now it's Wanda. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I was enjoying it too much.
Yeah, I had a great time with this. Oh, the Shumagorath, right? How Captain Carter recognized it, and it was just
that was a good
look.
touch. Yeah,
it was just a look on her face, just fucking perfect.
And it was also a thing where it felt like everyone contributed.
Yeah.
Arguably, Killmonger's contribution was mostly negative, and apparently that was all part of the plan. So hey, whatever.
Yeah, they were expecting him. Like the Watcher was expecting him to be a douchebag, which is also just perfect, man.
And it didn't deviate from Killmonger's character.
Yeah. The only thing I hated about it is, not what it was, but what it wasn't. The Gamora character in this was from a cut episode that they didn't have time to make because of COVID. This is supposed
That's
to be
a shame.
That is a shame, dude.
They could circle back to it in season 2, perhaps.
That Tony Stark looks like he would have been one of my favorite Tony Starks. Shithead spaceman Tony Stark.
I'm sure they'll get back around to it, but yeah, it would probably have been this episode better if we had gotten to see it before this episode came on, of course.
Yeah. So What If is done. What is next? It's December until we get Hawkeye.
Is it December or is it late
November? I thought it was like late November.
Maybe
Hawkeye.
It is November. Still, that's.
I mean, they probably want all the episodes out by Christmas, so they'll probably.
When
have
do
to
we
start
get the Guardians holiday special?
That's probably going to be
Life Day.
Yeah, that's probably going to be in the middle of December, I would think. I don't know though. I don't know. Dave, look to see when that comes out.
The Guardians
next
year. Why do you keep making Dave look stuff up?
Fuck him and his house clothes. I'm gonna make him do all kinds of work this episode.
Dave's our guy in the chair. I mean, I know that we're all in chairs right now, but Dave is like the guy in the chair.
He's Oracle. I want to fucking shoot him in the spine.
Hey.
So yeah, I don't know when that comes out, but it looks funny. It looks like it's gonna be good. Dave's too fucking slow.
I am looking.
So yeah, What If is great overall, though. I would have liked to have a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Well, hey, I mean that if your biggest complaint is that you wanted more of it, that's actually kind of a compliment, right?
It's not bad.
The Guardians of the Galaxy
Holiday Special
is set to premiere in late 2022.
See, so fuck.
I thought so, yeah.
Jeez.
I didn't think it was this year.
Okay.
Yummy.
Got some just totally disgusting food news this week.
All right, I'm braced for it. Here we go.
It's October. That means baseball. And whenever you think of baseball, what do you think of?
Pumpkin spice.
Chewing tobacco.
Cracker Jack.
Yeah, chewing tobacco food news. Damn it.
That would be pretty
disgusting. I was thinking, like, oh my God, are they doing something with that? But no.
Hey, Gomer, people in Cave City sometimes eat their chewing tobacco.
So I can boot you right out. I can mute you. I can do all kinds of things. So it's Pepsi Cracker Jack flavor.
That looks terrible.
Oh my gosh.
Disgusting, dude. Oh my God.
Now, if it wasn't Pepsi, it might be all right. But Pepsi, I find
that's your problem with a Cracker Jack flavored soda.
Yeah, okay. What soda is Cracker Jack going to taste good in? Man?
Yeah, Cracker Jack would pair well with RC.
Look,
that's what we drink in Cave City. Is just RC
and Sundrop,
Diet Right,
and Knee High.
Yeah, I like Peach Knee High. Fuck you, man. But yeah, they're teaming with Major League Baseball. You can only get this like by going to TikTok and singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," which is almost as dumb as Cracker Jack Pepsi. So keep your Cracker Jack Pepsi. You are terrible. You are disgusting. Just wrap it
all
up,
right,
everybody. Yeah, there is a tattoo on the side of the can. You get a prize.
Oh, great!
Which is lame. I don't know why you would drink.
I mean, that's I guess something about Cracker Jacks that like they could incorporate into this. So honestly, that's the best quality of this abomination of a promotion. So I will acknowledge that at least.
Somebody get Eddie Vedder to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
We don't have like 45 minutes.
Your jokes are terrible too. No comics this week from TF stuff, which is fine. We
generally that's how it is, anyways.
We get a couple next week. Grimlock and what's that new one?
Grimlock's great.
Grimlock's awesome. I think that Wrecker's book is coming out next week.
Oh, okay.
We will talk about those books tomorrow on our preview show. Join us then. But we're talking about the movie Rise of the Beasts. The director showed off some images of the cars. So what the fuck? What is this movie?
This is just gonna be like the Dinobots in Age of Extinction. You know, they're gonna be all over the previews and everything, but then they're just gonna be in the last 10 minutes of the goddamn movie.
Fucking stupid. Just dumb. The director, Stephen Caple Jr., he shared these shots on Instagram. Rise of the Beast is going to be on June 24th, 2022, set in 1994. It concerns another ancient robot conflict. Blah, blah, blah.
So is this kind of like a direct sequel to the Bumblebee movie?
Yeah, this is a direct sequel to Bumblebee.
And hey, all I can say for this movie is that at least it's not Michael Bay.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
No explosion porn.
Fucking Taylor Brightside and everything. Brightside and
I'm trying to bring that silver lining
Cracker
today,
Jack.
Well, you know,
it's been a bad week. I'm trying to keep things upbeat.
Well, at this point, I think everybody knows what the Transformers movies are and what they. So you know, I don't think anybody's going to be surprised by anything that's going to happen here. Negatively, anyway.
I gotta admit, Optimus Prime looks great. I will be very happy to buy yet another Optimus Prime because he looks.
They all look pretty great. I mean, that's a cool jazz looking right there.
Bumblebee is lame as a Camaro. It always has been. I
get
it.
Yeah,
I don't like all the extra like fringe on Bumblebee here. You know,
it's the '90s though. He has to be extreme.
Yeah.
Autobots extreme.
Extreme Bumblebee. And I don't even know who the VW is. I'm hoping it's
not Ironhide. I think
no,
maybe
Ironhide
Ratchet
has to be big and tough.
Do you guys still find it weird that we've gotten to the point where like the '90s is like a nostalgia piece now?
We are closer to 2050 than we are 1990.
And be an adult, yeah, fuck you. Yes, I do.
But like, yeah, I mean, like, Captain Marvel was the first one I think I could really remember where it's like, oh, it's a blockbuster video, you know, that kind of crap.
Dude, Netflix is just announced last week they're doing a show called That '90s Show.
Oh yeah, isn't it supposed to have like the cast from that '70s show? At least
I haven't heard any of that.
I saw an image of like Laura Papillon associated with it.
All right, that's enough talk about that.
Oh my god, I can't wait for that. I mean, what are they gonna do? I lived through the '90s, so they're just gonna smoke weed and take acid and have sex all the time because that's all I did in the '90s.
I mean, Woodstock '93 and Woodstock '96.
Yeah, I mean, are they gonna have Limp Bizkit and Korn on the soundtrack? Please don't. Please don't.
Did it all for the.
That's gonna be the intro. Korn.
Yeah. These are the three Decepticons that they showed off. Again, I don't have any names. I guess I should have done a little bit more work.
I hope that semi is not a nod to the one when Megatron was a semi.
No, it should be what's his name?
Maybe Roadmaster.
No, from the Stunticons.
Roadmaster.
Yeah, Roadmaster. He looks like a Roadmaster. You know what it looks like? It looks like the fucking truck from what the hell is that horror movie?
The Duel?
The Stephen King one?
No, where the dude only comes out like every so many years or some shit.
Jeepers Creepers?
Yeah, it looks like Jeepers Creepers truck.
Ah.
Anyway. Fuck this movie. Adam and I are gonna go first day. I can't wait. It's gonna suck so bad.
It's gonna be so bad.
I look forward to hearing you like just shit all over it.
He'll be like, "It's the best movie I ever seen."
Oh my gosh! I can't believe I paid $8.50. Let's watch it. Fucking. Let's do comics. Damn it. Oh man, I'm going first. I had such a terrible week. I need this. So yeah, again, I'll mention it again. Excalibur. This felt like the issue we should have gotten after Ten of Swords.
Excalibur's finally gotten good.
This issue was great, dude. All the stuff with Shogo and Jubilee was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All the stuff with Merlin like sneaking in, you know, and Arthur. Oh, it's awesome. Hellions, terrific issue. End of the arc. Lots of closure, but still pushed forward. But holy shit, dude. New Mutants. This story, this has been great.
Dude, the art is next level in this.
Yeah,
the art in this book is next fucking.
Not to get ahead of myself too much, but yeah, this is on my top 3. I'll go ahead and say this is my number 1. This is fucking jaw-dropping artwork.
It is.
This is a great way to handle like a trippy character like Shadow King. Yeah, and it's not just the art. I love the way they write Shadow King. I love how he like has sort of this like menace that is kind of like just below the surface, you know? And like the way that they did the art really played into that, where it's all trippy and like,
Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful art. But and all 3 of those are great, but they were all so equally great that I left them off my top 3 altogether. My honorable mention is actually the Me You Love in the Dark #3. Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. I think things get even weirder. Cool, very personal story, but man, I love the art. This is about an artist who goes like to Cave City so she can be all by herself and try to, refine her purpose. And her muse becomes like this ghost or this presence that's living in this haunted house. And she has the first 2 issues was her kind of like settling into this ghost being her muse. In this one, she's banging the ghost. Okay, she banging the ghost.
Ghost sex.
It's ghost.
That
sex.
was looking pretty intimate there.
It's ghost sex. Yeah. Oh, hey Matthew, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate that. But yeah, and it gets even. There's like a nip slip later on in the issue. Very well done. But my number 3,
whoa,
very risque. My number 3 is a righteous thirst.
This is on my top 3.
Number 1.
I won't tell you which one this is, but this is in my top 3.
This is my number 3.
I blame us not doing our Monday show for me missing this.
It's fantastic.
It is beautiful.
In this weird way, dude. It's Rick Remender, Andre Araujo, and Chris O'Halloran. But I don't really know what the fuck is going on in this book, right? The solicit says this is a uniquely atmospheric murder mystery with sudden bouts of brutal violence. And that's basically what you get.
So it's hard-boiled?
It's hard to tell because it's so early.
It's very this issue is has a lot of sequential art to it. It's a lot of the storytelling is done just through the art. There's very few conversations in it. There's very few. The longest conversation is essentially this one kid talking about what to do about this wounded bird.
Yeah,
in the book, but it's basically this guy right here is making his way to a house to talk to somebody.
We don't even know that. We don't even know why he's going to this house.
We don't know why he's going to this house, but we know. But this is
at one point. The main overarching point is at one point he runs into a guy at the store buying a bunch of shit, and the guy drops his shit, and it shows you, the reader, everything that this guy is buying. And then wherever this character that's on the screen now, wherever he ends up going, he can tell that the guy he ran into at the store murdered these people in this house with the shit that he bought at the store.
Yeah.
Basically, that's the only thing that happens. But it introduces you to this guy, like Dave said, with almost no word balloons, at all. No dialogue. But you can kind of tell that, I don't know, was it just me, Dave? You kind of feel like he's a good guy who just has really bad luck.
I kind of got that impression with him. He's a generally nice person.
Yeah.
Who basically gets his whole world turned upside down because he's.
But we don't even know if it is his world because we don't know if his world was. You know what I mean?
There's not enough. There's
not enough for us to know. But I want to know more. But I definitely want to know more.
But this is in my. I'll just go ahead and say it. This is my number 1.
Oh wow, really? It wasn't that damn good.
I liked it. I thought it was good.
Man, you gush about how good this is.
It's in your top 3, and you still shit on it.
Off my
You're
top
still
3.
wrong,
this
dude.
book. Go ahead, Adam.
Just for the artwork alone, just the storytelling through the sequential art. It tells you a story you can follow. It's well done. There's a lot of expressive artwork in this. A lot of situations that might, if you were in this guy's circumstances, you might find yourself in similar situations. But without the whole murder.
I knew this was going to be on your top 3. I didn't think it would be number 1, but good choice. Good choice.
Thank you,
Adam.
Backhanded compliment of all backhanded compliments. Then
do some honorable mentions. Batman 114, it's still mired in that damn future state shit, but I cannot deny that Jorge Jimenez is just killing this book.
For sure.
This whole issue,
good. Yeah.
This whole issue was an extended fight scene, and I don't give a shit about the 2 people fighting, but damn, it looked pretty.
Nice.
And then other honorable mention, Amazing Spider-Man 75.
It was on my list, my top 3. I had
really?
That number 2. Yeah.
It's just okay.
I loved it.
It was I was expecting this to be something new, and it really was not. This is just kind of standard Spider-Man.
Well, it was gone from the shop by the time I got there.
Oh, wow. That sucks, dude. That sucks. In this, it's a soft reboot for Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Even if it's just in theory or in name. But basically, a corporation is buying the Spider-Man trademark.
Yeah.
And this goes back to Super Superior Spider-Man, which I like quite a bit. And Ben Reilly is or will be the new sole Spider-Man. And in this, Peter gets shit on really hard. Is this enough to get me back into Spider-Man permanently? I don't know yet. But I'm in it for at least one more issue, dude. I had a
It wasn't bad. It was just
time.
It just wasn't.
Look at this art. I love that art there, dude. I love Ben and Peter there. I had a fantastic time reading this, and it had been such a long time since I've read Amazing Spider-Man and had a good time that I had to put it on the list.
And see that you are exactly what this issue is for.
Good.
So I'm glad that you felt that.
Cool. No, I understand exactly what you're saying because you've been in it. You've been in the swamp.
Oh, I've been in it.
I'm just getting in the swamp.
Yeah, Adam's been in the trenches over here.
Dude, yeah.
Right. But my actual number 3 is a surprise. Eternal Celestia #1.
Oh, no.
Kieran Gillen and, IOD favorite Kai Zama doing the art.
Kei Zama did the art in this?
Kei Zama did the art in this.
Pick it up. I didn't even give it a second
look.
look.
So I've been pretty on record of just thinking that the Eternals have been meh, but this is the first issue that I actually genuinely liked about it. They were exploring a specific cast of the Eternals who were like the religious sect,
rad.
And it was exploring the concept of them being eternal beings devoted to these other eternal beings, but what happens when the gods sort of abandon them, and then not only abandon them, but then choose humans or other people over them. And so we get sort of this conflict between these Eternals and the Avengers, because the Avengers are living technically inside the corpse of one of their gods.
Oh, wow.
And then you just have this.
That's fun.
Yeah, and then you just have this really cool Kai Zama art in it. And it gets a little mythological parts. And there's some just really cool fight scenes in it. So it was a surprise.
It's just a one-shot.
It is just a one-shot.
It's weird.
They're letting
can a book be eternal if it's one shot?
Well, they're letting Assad Ribic catch up on the art.
Yeah, for sure. Taylor, did you read that?
I did not actually.
Oh, I figured because you're still reading the Eternals book, right?
I am still reading the Eternals book, but I don't know. I guess it's always a game time decision if I pick up like the tie-in books. Like as much as
it's written by Kieran Gillen, so
that's true. But like I gush on the Immortal Hulk all the time, but I've only picked up like a handful of those tie-ins. So
sure. Although they did a mountain of those one shots, at least half a dozen,
and all of them had Al Ewing's name, even though a lot of that was just a filthy lie. But So it's always random odds if I pick up the tie-ins.
Yeah, and some of those were pretty good. The Jeff Lemire one I remember being pretty good.
No, a lot of them were actually pretty good. But
I think this being a one-shot actually helped it, because I think my biggest complaint with the main Eternal series is that it's dragged out. It's not going anywhere.
Sure.
Whereas this, it's all in one. So they had to tell me one complete story. So
nice.
It was nice.
All right, Dave, how many honorable mentions do you have first?
I'm only going to give you 2 honorable mentions.
All right.
Name drop them.
Okay. Swamp Thing number 8. Nice tie.
That's on my list.
Nice.
Nice little tie up between Swamp Thing versus the Suicide Squad, and there was a nice moment between Peacemaker and Swamp Thing. He's like, cool. I can help you walk away from this. So he's like, you can have peace.
Nice.
Dark Ages number 2.
That's actually on my list too, man.
Just an excellent continuation to
I love this book
to
so much.
Marvel's version of Revolution. So
I love this book. And then you say that like anybody knows what this half a season fucking NBC drama was.
It was awesome.
Go ahead.
Actually.
Number three.
My number 3 pick is going to be Soul Plumbers from DC.
Oh man, this wasn't even on my radar at all.
Oh well, it was on my
horror book.
It's a horror book, but it's written by the host of the last podcast on the left. And if you're like me, a fan of their podcast, you can see elements of the characters, the host in these characters. There's a Edgar who is very much like Marcus, who's very knowledgeable about religion and other topics. There's Scuzz, who is basically Henry Zabrowski's character, and then there is Elk, who is Ben Kissel, and the story revolves around Edgar being this very religious individual who's trying to save souls, and he gets conned into seminar where there's this guy that can sell this machine that can pull demons out of people, and he couldn't afford the plans, but he ends up stealing the plans and builds the machine that actually does pull. He can like exorcise demons from people.
Oh, okay.
And
then he's got a new gig now.
He's got a new gig.
He's a Ghostbuster. He's a demon buster.
He's essentially Dante and Randall meets Ghostbusters.
Oh, okay, dude. You should have just said that instead of
Clerks.
The 90 seconds you took explaining the book. If you said it was Clerks meets Ghostbusters, but with demons instead, yeah, I want to read that. I want to read the hell out of that book.
But yeah, it's because I'll just tell you that Marcus Parks, Marcus Parks and Henry Zabrowski wrote this book. But Marcus is a very big comic books fan. He likes Grant Morrison's Invisibles.
So. It is a comic book.
But Marcus knows his shit, and this is a book that they've been talking about for a while, and I was not disappointed with it.
Awesome. Well, good choice. You always pick the lesser known books. Yeah, it wasn't even on my radar. Taylor, honorable mentions and number 3.
I'm actually gonna forego honorable mentions this week.
It's a light week.
It was slim pickings by the time I got to the comic shop, so I only actually ended up getting 4 books. So I guess my honorable mention by default is Batman number 114.
Well, that's not a bad book.
It's consistently okay. Yep. And like Adam said, though, the art was pretty standout in this issue. My number 3 then is going to be Darkhold Alpha number 1.
Oh, you did pick that up. Huh?
I did pick it up, and I enjoyed it. Well, I mean, it's got a lot of Doctor Doom elements to it. I do love Doctor Doom, so I'm an easy lay for Doctor Doom. But it also did have a pretty compelling story. Shaitan, I think is how you say it. It's like C.
I always said it Cthulhu.
Sure, whatever. I actually don't know.
Like Cthulhu, but I don't know if that's right.
That sounds reasonable. He does kind of have like an eldritch horror thing going on, so maybe that is the reason for the name. But yeah, there was like a really cool couple of pages for the intro that was Scarlet Witch's nightmare of what's going to happen if this guy gets to our universe, and it was some pretty striking imagery. We have like Captain America like bleeding out of his goddamn face. We have like Spider-Man being torn up. The art was Tormey, Tormey. Not a name I recognize, but it was pretty good from beginning to end.
Cool.
And a lot of things that Dr. Doom did do in this book would be things you kind of expect him to do, because they were talking about when they got the Darkhold, like no mortal eyes can ever look upon the Darkhold, and Doom's like, fool's eye looked upon the Darkhold when the Doom bot read it.
Oh, fun! That's cool.
So he does like get the character pretty snap on. They did introduce Spider-Man towards the end, and like Steve Orlando apparently does like the Waka Waka Spider-Man, which can get old in large doses, but they used it sparingly enough here that it was still fun to read.
Usually in the one-shot Spider-Man or the mini-series,
Yeah, but yeah, it was a pretty solid start. I'm looking forward. It's got me where I'm probably going to pick up the rest of it. It looks like it's going to be a series of one-shots with each of our 5.
The Darkhold Defiled?
Yeah, there's Defiled. There's the
Darkhold Defenders is like their proper name, I guess. But.
Yeah, there's an Iron Man one. I think there's a Black Panther one.
There's Black Bolt, Iron Man, Spider-Man.
Is there a Black Bolt?
Wasp?
Black Bolt.
And
there's
Blade.
Also Blade and Wasp, yeah.
They're bringing Black Bolt. Black Bolt hadn't been in the comic in a while.
Yeah, Black Bolt's been gone for a while.
Yeah.
Well, he is here. In fact, they even mentioned here, like, guys, I'm busy rebuilding Inhuman Society. I ain't got time for this shit, but yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
They had that whole
and he is talking again, right?
No, he was using sign language.
Oh, okay.
Oh man!
I mean,
if I knew Black Bolt was in this, I might have actually gotten it.
Well, they took his powers away for a half a minute in that.
Well, I assume they're back because he wasn't talking here.
Well, they never really explained how his powers were working again, whether or not he could control.
Well, like when he had his own book, he's one of those characters where, like, when he has to start his own book, they nerf the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Kind of like with Doctor Strange or Silver Surfer, because they're powerful enough that it kind of breaks stories.
By the time Donny Cates killed the Inhumans, he was back to status quo. So
yeah, sure. Yeah, that's a good choice. I didn't give that one a second look either. Again, we're back to me, number 2. ASM 75, Zeb Wells, Patrick Gleason. Like I said, basically a corporation called the Beyond Corporation, because that's the name of the arc. It's probably more than an arc. It's probably going to be at least
It's 19 issues, 19 parts.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's also tying into the other Spider-Mans, which I might pick up Miles Morales, because basically this company has a trademark now on Spider-Man, the name Spider-Man. So they're going to go after everybody using that trademark.
So we have a version of Disney in the comic book now.
Dude, I love that angle. I love that corporate, capitalist sort of angle. I love that, again, that Peter got the shit kicked out of him and Ben's just standing there like,
they're paying me bank.
Because he got more money. He has more money. His suit was able to stop whatever, Peter got fucked by. And
radiation.
I love the story there, man. I love the story there. Because Ben is not a better Spider-Man. Peter is a way better Spider-Man.
I know.
Does Ben get the hook? Because he got that $1 billion fucking suit. Because he got that corporate backing.
It's the same story as Superior Spider-Man. It's the same story.
Really, not with Doc Ock and Parker Industries.
It is though. Some guy coming
Ben
in
isn't
like do Spider-Man better.
Evil,
it was the acquisition of Parker's Industries that gave them the copyright to Spider-Man, because Parker forgot to take that down.
Yeah.
Well, sure, and that classic Peter Parker, fucking forgetting to be Peter Parker because he's Spider-Man all the time. There's also this thing where he's like still in class in this.
Yeah, that's weird.
So is he in grad school right now? Like I noticed nonstop he was going to class. I'm like,
he's college and grad school. He's still in college. When Spencer's run first began, they took him back to college, and he's actually in class with Dr. Connors right now.
I actually remember that when they're like, "No, you cheated to get your degree," because they ran this test because he didn't actually get his degree. Doc Ock got his degree.
Doc Ock got the degree.
And they looked and they went back and used this fancy computer program to look over all of the things that he wrote. And it's like, oh shit, you stole it all from Doc Ock. And he's like, damn it, no,
Octavius.
I was Doc Ock.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah. So they got him on plagiarism. Fucking Spencer, plagiarism. That's fucking Spider-Man's biggest villain.
Man, I'm glad I didn't give Spencer's run a second look now. But anyway.
But this was good. I love Spider-Man. I love the character. I'm happy to actually be picking it up again. How long will that last? That is yet to be decided.
I hope this turns into something really good.
I do too, man. I do too. They got
the
enough
art
fucking
was
writers on this damn book. They got enough creators. Shit.
They do.
Number 2, Adam.
My number 2 was Swamp Thing number 8.
Cool.
Yeah, it's got fantastic art. Who is it? Mike Perkins.
I think so.
Mike Perkins has just been killing it in the art. A lot of just body horror and monsters. There's a big fight scene between Swamp Thing and Parasite in this.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun fight.
But it was kind of like but Swamp Thing somehow made a connection with Parasite to see like
it was more of a mental fight.
Yeah. But there was that Jacob guy that shows up. He's like talking about like
Swamp Thing's brother.
Yeah. But he was talking about
they introduced the big bad of the series in this one.
And it's Swamp Thing's brother?
Basically, it's Swamp Thing's brother, but he looks like a demon, and he's got like fire-looking powers or something.
And he can connect to the Green. He was talking about like humanity is the monster. Why do you want to protect them and all that? And he's like, there's a lot going on in this book.
There's a whole lot going on in this issue, and that's my negative to it. You can definitely tell that he's trying to fit like 3 arcs worth of material into this 10-issue run. But it's still really good, and we're getting towards the end now, so I've been really enjoying it.
Fun. Good choice. I'm waiting to collect it in trade. Dave.
My number
2. Take a number 2 on us, please.
All right. Chicken Devil.
No, come on. You can't be serious.
It's actually really good.
I saw
my
this.
God.
I mean, you did just ask him to take a shit on you.
I know, and he did. Literally, I'm like, yeah. Why?
Oh gosh. It's
why?
It's the story. The guy owns a chain of fast food restaurants.
Okay.
His partner gets involved with these drug smugglers. The drug smugglers turn around and kill his partner and the guy's family.
This sounds like season 3 of Breaking Bad.
It does. It has that feeling to it. And the guy basically snaps, and he kind of becomes this avenging angel that dresses up in a chicken suit mascot.
Oh, he dresses up in a chicken costume.
He dresses up in a chicken suit.
So it's Punisher.
It's Punisher, but
in a chicken costume.
If Colonel Sanders was the Punisher.
All right, Taylor, we're moving away now. You've ruined the show for me.
All right, you're not going to like mine much better, I fear, because my number 2 is Defenders, number 3.
It's better than Chicken Punisher.
It's mostly for the artwork. Javier Rodriguez, like, always delivers, like, the most imaginative page layouts. He, like, there's this one fight scene where basically they're fighting, like, Shuma Garoth, for all intents and purposes, like a giant tentacle monster.
Yeah.
And, like... every page is a feast for the eyes, and I am enjoying the story quite a bit. I do think that Al Ewing does a good job. He moves from like one character to another with each issue to do the inner monologues for. And yeah, it's been really rad.
Nice. Yeah, maybe I'll pick this back up. I know you keep loving it, so maybe I'll give it another whirl.
I guess it is a book where you have to do some homework before you can read it. You have to at least go back and read that like Marvel number 1000 thing they did last year.
Oh, yeah. I've read that, yeah. And
you should be fine then, yeah.
And it's only like 3 or 4 pages of the Marvel 1000 that you really need to know with the
3 or 4 pages. It's just like 3 or 4 panels.
Yeah, go back and read all the stuff with like the Enclave or whatever, and you should be fine.
Yeah. That brings it back to me for number 1. Dark Ages number 2. Tom Taylor, Iban Coella. This is a dope issue. I just love when Tom Taylor does stuff that doesn't fucking matter. It's like having your friend over to play with all your toys, and they play with them differently than you do, and it's just a fucking rad time. It's sort of peaceful now, you know. It's the apocalypse, but they've been able to do things to sort of make everything awesome. And this team, you know, fights off the vampires and the werewolves that are obviously that, you know, they can't fight off, you know.
And it looks like it is another opportunity for him to write one of his pet characters, Laura Kinney.
Yeah. Yeah, he loves X-23 too. He loves Wolverine too. But like Captain America goes and visits Iron Man, and then you figure out that it's actually Mystique, right? And they kidnap Iron Man. And fucking, I mean, you guys know what happened here in the first part, right? They opened up this portal, and there's this big monster, the Unmaker. They opened this portal to an EMP universe, magical place, to stop the Unmaker. It does, but then they can't close the portal because Doctor Strange is dead, so no electrical shit works, right? No technology or anything like that. So Apocalypse has used Purple Man to brainwash a bunch of folks, Magneto and Reed and Luna, and he's got all these smart motherfuckers trying to figure out how they can do what Apocalypse wants them to do, and the reveal is that he wants to wake the Unmaker. He wants to bring the Unmaker back. He thinks if he does that, then he can actually bring everything, you know, back to normal, you know, or whatever normal is for Apocalypse.
I think this is a bad idea.
I love this book so much. And again, it's the same reason I like Tom Taylor on Injustice. It's the same reason I like Tom Taylor on Deceased. It's because it doesn't fucking matter. And it's just a shitload of fun. It's just a shitload of fun.
It does free a writer up a lot when they do not have to give 2 shits about how this is going to fit back into continuity when it's over.
Yeah. At one point, he does such a great job of writing how different parts of America are staying in contact. Well, different parts of the world through psychics, you know, sharing information. And I don't know. It's really cool. It also has this fun aspect of it's apocalypse, you know, a no technology apocalypse. With Marvel heroes, what would happen? What would they do? You know, and it's fun to see a writer just, like Taylor was saying, just dive in with just no strings. And
I really like the interaction. It was very brief in the book, but the interaction between Peter Parker and May.
Yeah, he really gets them as a unit. And the thing about Peter Parker is, yeah, his webs were like a big part of like the security system they have set up against the vampires and the werewolves, but he's definitely there for more than just throwing up webs. There's a reason May and Peter are in this, you know, and I'm just really excited to see Tom Taylor. What is he going to do next? It's not even what is going to happen next in the event. in the miniseries. It's what is Tom Taylor going to pull out of his ass next? That's just a really cool thing to do, given the premise that he himself has, established. So, and this gives him another opportunity to write a million more stories, into the future in this particular universe, just like they did in Injustice, just like they did in Deceased. And it's really fun to be here on the ground floor and see Tom Taylor.
And 2 new great characters for the Spider-Verse.
Right. Adam, number 1.
Cool.
I think you already said it.
Well, I mean, like I said earlier, all 3 of the X books this week were fantastic. And I decided to only pick one to put on my list. I knew Taylor was going to have New Mutants as his.
Oh,
all right.
So I went with Hellions number 16. Man, I love this issue. This is my favorite issue, or my favorite kind of issue. It's the Fallout issue. All the big shit went down last issue. They blew up Sinister's base, which had the copy of Psylocke's daughter on it, as well as, revealing that Sinister's been tricking the team and getting them killed and all that stuff.
Stealing Tarn's shit.
Right.
This is a fucked up arc. This arc feels like it's been going on forever.
It is. And so, I've really liked this book because, X-Men has always been a series about found family. It's about outcasts coming together and just creating their own family, and that's what this book was. These were the outcasts of the outcasts.
Yeah.
They all had mental problems or just
social problems. Yeah.
Social problems. And they managed to make a family that kind of worked. Before this arc, they kind of worked and they were happy.
Yeah.
And now everything's come crashing down.
Everybody pissed at
everybody's pissed. Grey Crow wants to.
Even Nanny and what's his name are on the outs. And it's like, holy shit.
Yep, Grey Crow wants to kill Empath because Empath is the one who blew everything up.
And not just that, Grey Crow is willing to go into the hole, like where Sabretooth is, to kill this motherfucker. And it's like, oh shit. And just the writing that he was able to do there. That's Zeb Wells, right?
Yeah, that is Zeb Wells.
Wells you have an ASM book this week too. Holy shit. Good on him.
You're right. You had Nanny and Orphan Maker, where Nanny just was like, "You're a man now. You don't need me, and I don't need you. You need to go away."
This is heartbreaking.
I've basically replaced you.
Yeah.
And then you have Havoc there, just being depressed. He finally got what he wanted. He's off the Hellions team, but at a cost he didn't want to have to pay.
Yeah.
And then you have Empath there. Empath was really well written too, where he was trying to play off like betraying the team meant nothing to him, but at the same time you can tell that the guy who really doesn't feel emotions is actually kind of feeling sad that he betrayed his little family.
There's also good. There's also the Emma angle where Emma was pulling the strings this whole fucking time. Basically knew Sinister was up to something but didn't know quite what. And didn't give a fuck what happened as long as Sinister got caught. Because so much shit happened because of what Emma told Empath to do.
It did. This is just where all the shit has finally hit the fan. And I don't really see how... I can see how this book can keep going for another arc, but I don't really see long term how this team can keep going, which is why I thought this book was getting canceled.
Well, if they all figure out that Empath was being manipulated by Emma... then there's a route where Empath can actually bring them all together, But you're right. You're kind of right. And there's also where they're bringing back, what's her name? The Jean Grey, Madeline Pryor.
Yeah.
For Havoc. That's a great angle there because that fits in with a lot of other shit going on. The X-Men show up in this issue for a page.
They do basically just to rub in the Hellions face, how well together the X-Men are,
Yeah. Man, how great were all 3 fucking X books this week? They were so good. So good. Yeah, I could have had 1, 2, 3 in any order, the X books. That's why I kept all 3 of them off my list. Dave.
Righteous Thirst for Vengeance.
Oh, that's right. You already said it. Moving on. And this is a great book, though. I need 2 issues, though, man.
Yeah, we need to see
a double-sized issue.
Yeah, they should have done something like you said, there's not enough meat on the bone for this issue. We just know he's going. We just know he's on his way to a place. He gets there, and it's not what he's expecting.
Yeah, or maybe it is what he was expecting. We don't know shit.
Maybe he was intending to kill them. I don't know.
And it's amazing that I'm like, no, I could see anybody putting this as their number one just because of how fucking well done it was as a single issue of a comic. Sure, you don't really know what the fuck is going on, but I don't care who you are. If you read this issue, you are going to read issue 2.
He has gone through a lot of trouble to find that fucking pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, right. And then it's Taylor. Did he already say his number?
Well, as expected, mine was New Mutants.
Yeah.
That cover is really killer too, by the way. But yeah, the artwork here was outstanding.
So
like
good,
all the different montages of them like dealing with their worst fears and nightmares and things like that. It really does drive home just what a menace the Shadow King can really be. So yeah, like from a writing standpoint, I really loved how they wrote all the characters. From an art standpoint, I mean, I don't have to say anything. Just look at that.
Dude,
so yeah,
design work there. Why is there a centipede up in the upper left corner? Because it's creepy, and you're supposed to be creeped out by this character. If you look down in the lower right-hand corner, just behind that word balloon, those are eyes like staring out of the wall. Why? Because it's creepy, and it just works.
Yeah, it's evocative. It kind of drives home like the whole, just this is the stuff of nightmares that he is unleashing upon. And incidentally, like the little reject kids were all like, "Don't worry, the New Mutants will handle it." And then they get there, and the New Mutants are very decidedally not handling it.
No.
Yeah.
But those pages are so good too because they're kind of like in shadow in this world, this but they're all in white. They're all like sort of in grayscale, while everything is color around them. And then at one point in this magic, like he does a specific thing to magic, and her like silhouette of like just her top of her forehead to the bottom of her nose is like at the top. And then it just cascades into all this just terrible shit.
Yeah, we've seen that before, like when they were traveling through Otherworld. Like they do a really great job, like almost deconstructing the artwork itself. His face here looks like an incomplete sketch, like he didn't finish drawing it, and that's an amazing effect to pull off, I think.
Yeah, and just so well done, dude. Just so well done. And I mean, the way he's talking here, because on the left, that character, the view of that character, it almost looks like he's pleading, like he is, got some good qualities to him just in the art. And if you read the dialogue, he's saying some okay things there that kind of makes sense. But then you get to that picture on the right, and you must learn the lesson. He's dude, just so well done. Excellent choice. Again,
ever since
did you read any of the other X books this week?
I did not, but
great.
I'm sure they were, but
they were great. But yeah,
ever since they switched over to this creative team, this has consistently been perhaps the very best X book.
Yeah.
It's been up there.
It's a contender for sure, at least.
It's hard to deny that Rod Rice art because, commonly, if you're going to go with the traditional stereotypical art for New Mutants, it's Sienkiewicz. And I think Rod Rice sort of has that, the Warlock.
Yeah.
Just that look, it's this very unique sort of look. But man, I think Rod Rice is just, in terms of how design, his design work.
Oh, his design work's fantastic.
Head and shoulders above what anybody else is doing on anything ongoing. You know what I mean? I can't think of another book where the design work is that damn good. Well, maybe that Echo Lands book, but that's not an ongoing, and that's what's his name, Williams or whatever. So, but man, terrific books this week. Even though Taylor only got 4, that's pretty weird.
Womp womp.
Just kidding.
Oh well.
So yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. We really appreciate it. Check out patreon.com/outrightgeekery. You can give us some money if you want, just a tip, just $1. Get all our links over at outrightgeekery.com. Links there include, point you to everything we're fucking doing, including the comic book bullies. We got Big Willie doing shit in and out, all week long. So we got our show tomorrow night, our preview show. Definitely come back for that. Thanks everybody for listening, but most of all, thanks to these 3 jokers.
You're just going to use that every week going forward.
I love it. This is McFarlane shit. I love it.
Yeah, it's fine.
It is. I'll find another
just
one.
Okay.
I'll find another one. Thanks to those guys for hanging out with this guy. We're gonna do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
Man, no gusto at all.
David, all business like this week.
He is all business. He's a homeowner now.